So the next skill we want to learn is the tense, which we already know, but with an open string. So what that means is we're going to play the two notes of the tense that we've learned, but we're going to incorporate an open string with all the chords. Now, whenever you do this, I have a series of videos that explains open string playing, but it adds a whole nother dimension in sound. It actually sounds very modern, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but the best reason to play in this G form, that all of our examples are kind of in the G form, is because when you play in the G form, this one string right here, that is a G note. So in the key of G, that's a 1. And that is like your best friend in this G form, because you can combine that with all your chords to make it sound, the texture just sounds much more modern, unique, and actually just great sounding that way. And so when you learn how to play tense, there are times when you want to incorporate this open string, and there are times when you don't. But this skill will involve learning this. Now, in order to do this, we're going to have to learn a new scale of the roots that we learned up until now, okay? And remember, in the first, all the other examples we were using, 1 was here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was down here. Well, what we're going to have to do is change that up a little bit. So now watch. I'm going to go, and we're going to keep the 4. It's 4. We're going to keep 5 and 6 the same. However, we're going to get rid of you remember right here we had 7, 1, 2, 3. We're going to get rid of those because it's hard to incorporate this open G when the root is on the E string. So now we're going to have to adjust it where all the roots are played on this A string, okay? So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But the good news with playing these tenths with the root on this A string is there will only be 2 patterns, okay? There's only a major pattern and a minor pattern, and they're directly related to the type of chord. So I'll give you an example. So you remember this 5 here. 5 is a major chord, and so the pattern for the 5 using tenths was these 2 notes together, okay? Well, 6 is a minor chord. And so the minor pattern was basically the same, but you remember you went 1 less fret because it's a minor third, and a minor third uses the intervals shorter, only 3 half steps rather than 4. So this was the pattern for the minor chords. And so that's the only 2 patterns that will apply using this technique. Okay, so now let me go and give you all the rest of the scale notes, and then we could apply that together. So if we were to continue this, 6 will be here. This note here will be a 7. And you remember 7 and 1, they're just right next to each other. So 1 will be played here. Let's go backwards. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4. 3 would be here. And 2 will be this open A string. Okay? And then all you do is for these roots, you apply the corresponding tenth or the third, you remember they're the same, whether it's major or minor. So now I'm going to go and show you this one at a time. So 1 is a major chord, so you're going to use the major pattern, which was those two. Okay? And then 7 is a minor chord. I'm going to do this backwards so we go down this way. 7 is a minor chord, so we would use the minor pattern, which was these two, like that. 6 is a minor, so you would use the same as 7, which is a minor pattern, like that. Now remember, all these will be played with this G string open. So you're playing this note, or this string, and this string. You do have to mute this string here. Okay? So you got to figure out how to mute this, and you're only playing 3 strings at a time. Okay, let's keep this going. So then a 5 chord is a major chord, according to the theory of thirds. Major pattern. There's a space here. So this is the 5 chord. 4 is a major, just like the 5. So it uses this. 3 is a minor chord by theory. So minor chord pattern looks like this. 2 is a minor chord. So you would use the minor pattern, which is this, along with this G open. So I know that I left these notes on there, and it might seem a little confusing if you weren't able to follow me, but if you follow from the very beginning of this video and just really be careful on where I'm pointing out and try to ignore the other dots, you should have a clear understanding on how to play tenths with an open string. And once again, there's an understanding element which makes sense and you get your aha. But the way you want to actually practice these is go on your guitar and start playing chord progressions within a song using this skill and just this skill. Remember, this G, open G string, is your best friend. And so you will use that. Okay,